Hey there, this is a quick tutorial and review of the HU800AWD. I've owned this for about 7 years. I just want to give a quick long-term review / tips for the owners who already own this or the folks who may be on the market and interested in this. So first things first, I've had this now for about 7 years, and I can say good things and bad things. The good thing I want to say real quickly is the Honda engine. This Honda engine is a GCV 190 engine made by Honda. It's really good. It has not given me any trouble in the 7 years I've owned this. It always starts. The only issues I've ever had is just the regular maintenance stuff, which is essentially your oil changes, your spark plugs, air filter. So I had to clean the carburetor two times. And other than that, that's the only issues I've ever had. I will say if you do have this, or if you have any Honda engine, it's made out of aluminum. So when you take the carburetor out, these are the two bolts. Just be sure when you put these bolts back in, do not over torque them. I stripped the heads of this engine because I did not know that. And when I stripped it, I had to learn about how to repair it by using a tap. So that's another story, but hey, just watch out for that for the folks who own this. But that's a good thing I could say. This is a really good engine. It starts all the time, doesn't give you much of any issues, and it's pretty powerful. Now, the bad part of this is the stuff that's not Honda, which is essentially the deck, the all-wheel drive system. The reason why I'm doing this video right now is because my transmission failed. My front transmission failed for the second time. So right now there's no transmission there. I purposely removed it. I have the screws off of this. It's not loose. It's usually nice and tidy in there. The reason why I removed it is because I am repairing and replacing it. I placed the order. It should be on its way here. In any case, that's kind of what got me doing this video right now, is the fact that I'm repairing the front transmission for the second time. I did have to repair the rear transmission and actually replace that once. I've had issues with bearings. I've had issues with the gears. I have had a lot of rust issues with this, with clips not coming off of it, having to cut things off. So essentially what I decided is, after 7 years, and about close to $430, I know because I tallied it up, $430 in repairs, most of which I've done myself, I'm calling it quits. So what I want to do is I'm going to clean this up really nicely. As you can see, it's nice and clean, and I'm in the middle of doing that, and I figured, hey, why not do a YouTube video while I have it nice and pretty. Go ahead and clean this up, get the new transmission in, and then post it for sale. Right now it's winter, so I had plenty of time. The whole idea is to put this up for sale around early spring and see how much you can get for it. Now, I did have to add some treads to these tires. These Husqvarna tires, or the wheels, they're made out of plastic, and because it's an all-wheel drive, it does wear out very quickly. So I have a video on my channel on how to do that. But it's a very cheap and inexpensive repair. I would say most of the repairs on this is, I don't know, anywhere between 30 to 50 bucks, just depending on what goes wrong with it. It is straightforward on how to repair it. Anybody can repair this. If you have the tools and you know how to use a wrench, it's fairly straightforward. However, what makes it very difficult is the rust. So before I get to the under of this mower, I just want to show you a few things. So one of the biggest complaints a lot of folks have on this mower, including myself, it's this plug. This plug here, which is, it's an automatic plug. It closes, it's connected to the door, so when you close the door, it is supposed to be used for mulching. It is very poor. It leaves a lot of clumps and it falls to the ground, so it's not a nice and even mulch. All right, so here's the underneath part of the deck, and this is what I'm talking about. Back here, there's a big gap. So what should be a nice little circle, it's pretty much a big gap, a big cavity. So guess what's going to happen? Grass clippings are going to accumulate back here and drop. So it doesn't do a good job of mulching. Like I mentioned earlier, rust. These bolts rust. These bolts up here, they rust. These things rust. Another one that tends to rust. So if you look closely, I have nice and shiny bolts. There, nice and shiny bolts. Here, nice shiny bolt. There, up there. These are the bolts that all tend to rust, and one by the time, after each repair, I've had to either cut them off because they stripped off, or just they were rusted beyond repair that you couldn't really use them. So in each time I've done a major repair, which has been this transmission once, and the transmission which is missing right now at the moment, but this is my second time doing it. I end up having to remove the rust and put some anti-seize on it in order to make my job easier in the future should this need a repair again, which it usually does. Now, my biggest issue that I have with this lawnmower is this is the first generation design. In the first generation design, they have a plastic baffle right here. That plastic baffle, what it does, it inhibits any clippings and mud, water to fall out of it. And a lot of clippings, a lot of grass clippings, and a lot of mud and water will get in here in this cavity, and then it rusts everything out in here. So one of the things I did to mitigate it, and Husqvarna actually already mitigated it in the newer design version of this mower, is this metal baffle, and they leave it open for clippings to fall out. So I placed an order for everything. Everything has already come in except for the transmission itself. So that's the only thing I'm waiting on. But this is a baffle that I got as a replacement, and I'm not going to use the plastic baffle anymore. And it fits nice. So anybody who has their first generation, just know that you can use the baffle, the front baffle. You do need to bend it in a little bit and make slight adjustments, like drilling some holes right here. But other than that, it's something that you can do yourself. When it comes to the mulching of this is just pretty standard stuff, common sense with any lawnmower. It's just as long as this is nice and sharp, and I sharpen it probably 2 to 3 times a season. But you kind of have to keep this really sharp because, like I mentioned, this big, huge cavity here. If you want good mulching, you need to have a really nice, sharp blade. As long as this blade is nice and sharp, it works. Speaking of rust, the locking mechanism. This locking mechanism went out on me. I had to make I had to jerry rig some sort of bracket here to support the lock to keep this door closed. Otherwise, grass clippings would come out. So that's another thing. A lot of folks talk about their pulleys going bad and their belts going bad. I will tell you from my experience in the 7 years owning this, these are the original pulleys. I have not replaced these pulleys. Maybe because after every cut, I do turn it on its side and I do wash it out. I make sure that no clippings stay in here. But I've never had any issues with the pulleys. I've seen a lot of other folks who had this mower who had issues with the pulleys. The belt, I have replaced my belt, but not because I needed to, because I was doing the transmission. So the last time I repaired my transmission, I went ahead and replaced the belt, but my belt has not been worn out. All right, so here are some bearings. I have anti-seize on these bearings. They can seize up from time to time. This device right here, the height adjuster essentially, these tend to stiffen up, so you have to lube them up, and they do rust up as well too. The other major issue I have on this is you can't really see it, but in the front transmission, the same thing happened in the rear transmission. At the end of this, at the other side of this height adjuster, what you have is these gears. They're held together by pins. These seize up a lot. So this piece right here, I could not get it off, so I had to get a cut-off wheel and literally cut the drive shaft of the front transmission off because I could not get this gear for the life of me. Soaked it in vinegar and a bunch of other rust-inhibiting acids. Could not get the gear off. I ended up just drilling through the top of this and making a hole, and I was finally able to take this gear off. So these are the type of issues that you have is these things rust, and it becomes very difficult to repair this. Repair wise, it's very straightforward and very easy to work on this, but it's the rust that causes a lot of issues. And then you're forced to have to replace a lot of these pins and these clips that tend to go bad. So the reason why you see this tin foil is this is what I used originally without all this paper, of course. I had soaked a lot of my rusty parts in here for several days before I could try to reuse them as much as possible, and then I coated them with anti-seize so I'll be able to reuse them. Side discharge on this is really, really poor. First of all, the design of it is you open this door, it sticks right in the bottom, and it just falls off all the time. Maybe the first year or two didn't happen, but it just wears out over time. I did end up buying a new side discharge for a couple bucks, but it still just kept falling off. It's just a really poor design and just leaves clumps everywhere because it just shoots down. Here's the other side of my bracket that I created. So I'm able to lock this in because I like to keep it a mulch. I just want to keep the door nice and closed and not have to worry about it. Another tip and trick is this went out, my spark plug. So I ended up having to get zip ties, and it works fairly well now. So I zip tied it and created a little bit more tension, and now it works just fine. This is the original. I did not have to replace this because I just used some zip ties on it. Other piece of advice is what you want to do is get some oil and make sure you go inside behind the handle and in front of the handle on both sides and lube this up, and then move it back and forth. After lubing them up, it will move nice and free. Another piece of tip I have for you is for this coupling that you guys have. Do not keep this coupling on the mower. In the commercials, you see folks mowing with this coupling on. That is a horrible thing to do. I know. Why? Because I did the same thing, and after about 3 to 4 years, this thing goes bad and becomes unusable. So I had to replace this coupling. I use this as well as turning my mower to the side and power washing it each time. So my recommendation is, if you have this coupling, remove the coupling, keep it in storage, and then only use it when you need it. I would say for the fall, I do not rake my leaves. I use this mower in mulch mode, and it is a beast. The all-wheel drive, oh my gosh. So the good thing, what I love about this mower, is when you do engage the all-wheel drive and all the wheels are working with good tread, this thing yanks you. I mean, it pulls you. It has a lot of power. It does go uphill. I do live on a slight incline hill. So this is the main reason why I bought this mower 7 years ago. And when you use the all-wheel drive system, and it just literally yanks me up the hill. And that's the really good thing why I love this. It's just, in my opinion, it's a very high maintenance mower. 7 years, I've spent a significant amount of money keeping this thing going. Another thing that folks tend to have is the blade adapter. The blade adapters do shear off. I've actually replaced my blade adapter 5 times. On the 5th one was I guess a good batch. I want to say they were just really poorly made and it would shear off all the time. But the latest blade adapter that I have right now, I've been using it for now for 2 years. It's just a poor design by Husqvarna. They have that star pattern blade adapter, and that's the major issue I have. So if you own this, hopefully some of these tips was going to be helpful for the folks who already own this. If you just recently purchased this and you've had this for less than 3 years, my advice is please get behind these wheels, get behind all these adjustments, turn it over on its side. And when I had it on its side before and I showed you all those bolts, try to get in there and lube these things up at least twice a season. I'm not exaggerating. You want to lube them up twice a season, because you know what? These transmissions will go out. There'll come a time you're gonna have to repair this, and if your nuts and bolts are not rusted, it just makes the repair job so much easier. So what I'm doing right now is I am cleaning this up. I'm gonna get this nice and pretty and fully functional, and I'm gonna say goodbye to this. I am now gonna go on to electric. I've seen the Ego battery powered electric, the new one that just recently came out, that's twin blade. So I'm gonna give that a try. So one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait too early in the season and try it out and see if I like it. And if it works good, then I'm gonna go ahead and sell this. So I'm gonna keep this nice and clean, ready to be sold, storage. And if I don't like the battery power, hey, I have a nice clean working mower. If I do like the battery power, then I'll have to say goodbye to my Husqvarna. Been a good 7 years. It's just a really high maintenance mower. The engine is awesome. The drivetrain is just trash.